Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm your other host Dan. We are a video games. We are a weekly video game podcast.
Fridays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.chipit.net.
That's at Chipit Radio.
Yeah,
that's what's on that website.
Yeah. There's some other stuff on there too, but basically the radio is.
Yes, it's the main draw. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, and Steam. We are Don't Copy That Floppy on all of those things, except for Twitter, where we are at DCTF Podcast.
Can you even believe it? Twitter handles, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, you got those ats in there, you got those hashtags.
Oof.
Hashtag blessed. Been hearing that one a lot lately.
Hashtag so smooth. Hashtag Kanye West.
Hashtag the Molyneux curse. Which segues nicely into
hashtag the Molyneux. Okay, there's one thing.
Let's get that started.
Whenever I am uploading these episodes to our show archive,
which you can find on iTunes or chipit.net,
I always try and find a line from the episode that's a good episode name, and this episode's name has got to be hashtag Molyneux curse.
Absolutely. No, I noticed that when I was looking through the archive once that you've done that for all the titles, and I really liked it. It's always more charming when the podcast episodes have titles, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like a funny line from it, yeah. Because we're starting this week with a story about Fable developer Lionhead Studios, which at one point was helmed by Mr. Molyneux, who has since departed and started 22 Cans. Or started working at 22 Cans. I don't remember.
Didn't he leave them to make another game recently?
22 Cans?
Yeah.
I think he's still there. I think he just started making a new game and dropped his old game.
Well, he definitely did that.
He definitely did that.
I just wasn't sure if he also dropped the company to start another one.
I can't remember. The sheer amount of broken game development studios this man leaves in his wake is insane. It's so bad.
So we learned on the 7th.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're specifically citing an article from Eurogamer.
Yep.
We learned that Microsoft has decided to close down Lionhead Studios.
In the UK.
In the UK. Do they have places elsewhere that are going to remain open? I
don't think so.
I think, yeah. But, which also means that everyone's most highly anticipated game, Fable Legends,
is also canceled.
It's canceled.
People who pre-purchased the game are getting refunds. The beta is open up till the end of the month, I still think. Yeah, the beta will go offline on April 13th, 3 p.m. GMT. But that's it. That's your last fetters of Lionhead Studio that you can go enjoy.
So I thought this was weird because I was just like, wait, but like that Fable game is like almost done.
Yeah, it's really close.
I don't know too much about how the beta was going because I didn't play in it. I didn't know anybody was playing it. And nobody cares about that game.
Neither of us, as far as I know, had any interest in that game whatsoever.
I mean, I had like a passing interest in it, but I didn't think it was going to be a great game.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that like after it came out and then, dipped in price at some point later, I would like consider buying it on sale or something. Right. But it was like almost done. It seems a shame to close the studio and just can it now. Because it probably would have sold like reasonably, if only because of the name recognition.
Well, it's not like Fable sold poorly in general. 2 sold the best, and 3 it did fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been a while since they've made something really worth mentioning.
But what about Fable Journey? No, so
isn't that the Connect one?
Yeah, so Molyneux, that was Molyneux's last project with the company.
Right.
Where once again he did an interview like he always does, where he was like, "This game's going to be revolutionary. Look at you can like make movements, and then it responds to them." Whoa.
By the way, I'm not speaking to the press.
Yeah. And
quote me on that. In this interview with the press, I'm no longer speaking to the press.
But then after that game came out, and no one knew that it came out because no one cared.
Because it was a Connect game.
Because it was a Connect game. Molyneux quietly left to found 22 Cans, and
then he spoke to the press.
I think that was in 2012 that happened, but I could have my years off.
Yeah.
We know that Fable 3 came out in 2010. I think it was 2012. That sounds right to me.
Yeah. Needless to say, this is just more indication that everything Peter Molyneux touches turns to crap.
Pretty much.
As we said, hashtag the Molyneux curse.
Hashtag Molyneux
he doesn't
curse.
even need to be there anymore. His presence poisoned it.
So this studio had been launched in 96.
They've been around longer than I thought.
Yeah, well,
but I suppose they made Black and White way back in the day.
Well, that's the thing. They made Black and White in 2001.
Right.
So they had like 5 years where they didn't... I mean, I'm sure they were making stuff, but they weren't like a notable company.
Right.
Until Black and White came out. So, and then, Fable 3, which was the last notable game they made, came out in 2010. So really they had like a 9-year run.
Yeah.
Of actually being a notable studio that produced fairly good content.
Right.
So,
Microsoft released a big statement of like, we're so sad to have to close these studios, because they also closed Press Play Studios in Denmark.
Oh, yeah.
And some kind of development on some of the Project Knoxville.
So this was a big downsizing of their European stuff.
Clearly. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry to do this, but if anybody needs jobs, we'll help place them. And they did great work for us, and we pride ourselves on making good video games.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I don't love the work that Lionhead did recently, or...
Neither do I.
Yeah, and I don't love the game that they were working on, but I'm not gonna make fun of them when all those people lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Because
I'll make fun of Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, because he keeps getting jobs he doesn't deserve.
No. It literally anybody else at Lionhead Studios should have Peter Molyneux's job right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And I bet they'd be doing a better job
than him. There are some people that if they were fired, I'd be cool with it. Peter Molyneux, maybe Cliffy B, just because he kind of bothers me.
David Cage?
Definitely David Cage.
I don't know how that guy keeps getting work. I don't know about David Cage, though. I kind of just want him to keep making games, so it keeps becoming more and more of a train wreck. To just see how far we can go.
He fully transitions into the bowl of game design.
Chinese underwater ghost base in Beyond Two Souls was pretty hacky.
Epic narrative.
Oh, it's so good. It's so heartfelt. Underwater Chinese ghost base. So stupid.
But no, we do feel very sorry.
Hearts go out to you guys at Lionhead.
Yeah, we hope you guys are able to get new jobs, get back on your feet.
I liked Fable 1 fine. I liked Fable 2 fine. Didn't play Fable 3.
I didn't play it either, but I
had fun with those games.
I saw... Some of my friends got it. I saw gameplay of it. It was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think they instituted that mechanic for... What was it? It was like either becoming nobility or like you deal with like family tree stuff or something.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, it wasn't particularly well implemented, but it was a very cool idea.
And that seems to be the gist of the Fable series.
Yeah.
Cool ideas that are not necessarily very well implemented. But nonetheless, I mean, I'd say their effects have kind of been felt in video gaming. Because people took notice of them and took note of the things that they did in a unique way. And I think we've seen echoes of it in other fantasy games. Of certain things that Fable has done, but in weird ways.
When did the first KOTOR game come out?
2002?
See,
2003?
Because one of the things that I always think of from that era of RPGs is that the first Fable game was really big on the like, if you do something bad...
2003.
Yeah, like if you do something bad, you're gonna become bad, and then it'll change like your character appearance and junk like that.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that the industry definitely ran with. I don't know if Fable 1 was the first game to do that.
Fable came out in 2004.
Oh, okay.
So it was after Knights of the Old Republic.
But
it introduced it to a different crowd.
I think so.
Than KOTOR did. Because they're fairly different styles of RPG. Fable's much more of an action RPG.
Definitely.
And I would agree with you. I think Fable's implementation of it was more noticed by people, I guess.
And more imitated.
And also, Black and White had like a morality system of sorts too.
Oh, well, that's true.
Where you could be a good god or a bad god and mess with stuff. So I suppose Lionhead did sort of do it first, as far as a morality system being a major part of a game. Unless there's something from some even earlier titles that we just don't know about. which is possible, I suppose.
Certainly possible.
Do you consider whether you rescue all of the Jinjos in Banjo-Kazooie a morality system?
Yes.
You get the bad end for not saving all the Jinjos. They're innocent people. Colorful bird beak people. Who go, Jinjo! And then fly around when you save them.
Because they're free, Dan.
They're finally free.
Alright.
Jinjo free now. Let's talk about something I don't want to talk about. Ubisoft's The Division. Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's The Division. This game came out. End of story. Let's move on. Now, this game came out, and in an article from the 9th, so the day after its release, on March 8th, it said that it had a record-breaking launch for Ubisoft, which suggests the publisher sold more than 1 million copies on the first day of release.
Whoa.
This is a lot. Wowzers.
So this is surprising to me because we haven't been hearing a lot about this. Didn't seem like there was a lot of buzz about this game.
No, I didn't. I don't think I saw anybody excited about this game.
and I don't think they should have been. But but it's funny just because one of the things we were talking about before the show is that this is another game where it's like Watch Dogs, where it seems like it's all style and no substance. Like, not actually a particularly good game, but everybody's into it anyway.
Because it was advertised in such a way.
Well, that's the thing, because Watch Dogs was advertised very well.
Right. But Watch Dogs was advertised well because they flat out lied to everybody about how the game was going to look and play.
They were advertised well because they used false advertising.
Yeah.
Yes. But the thing is, The Division, to me, wasn't advertised that well.
No, it was, look at these guys with shoot-bang guns in this old New York. New York's all run down. It's like post-apocalyptic, maybe.
Like Escape from New York.
Last of Us Tom Clancy edition.
Pretty much.
Is basically what I saw whenever I saw one of those previews. It didn't look remarkable at all. It's like Battlefield Hardline. It's just like, here's the thing. Here's their military game with a tiny twist on it that actually doesn't make it any different. You're just still shooting guys. That's all the game is. So, whatever. And just like with Watch Dogs, people prove that they're suckers, and they'll buy anything if Ubisoft lies to them enough.
Well, one of the things that happened with this game, with The Division, is it had a lot of problems at launch.
Because it's an always online game.
Which you
mentioned before.
Yeah.
Which always has problems at launch.
Yes.
It's guaranteed.
I guess,
even though it shouldn't be.
Even though it shouldn't be guaranteed. That's the sad state of video games in this day and age. That being said, it didn't have as much problems as some games have. I mean, it wasn't a SimCity. Right. It wasn't even as bad as like a Diablo 3, because there were points where people just couldn't play that game after it launched.
Or WoW expansion days and stuff. Oof.
And it certainly wasn't as bad as the faceless people from Assassin's Creed. But it did have a bunch of glitches that made the game very difficult. Not only was there a lot of laggy stuff happening on the servers, but there was a lot of like weird little things. Like there was apparently a bunch of people that you hand quests into that were glitched out so that they could only take one quest hand in at a time. Yeah. So if more than one player was trying to talk to this character on the server, they just wouldn't be able to. Yeah. So what happened was there's screenshots of this, and they're amazing. People actually formed lines. And there's this screenshot of like this line going out the door of this room. It must have been like 50 people in it, just all waiting to hand in this quest and get their XP and their money. And then there's like the group chat is like open at the bottom of the screen, and one of the things that's typed in is "No cuts, bro." And I just thought, is this a joke? This must be a joke. Amazing. It's too amazing.
It's so good. And could it have been a plan to more properly replicate this post-apocalyptic setting?
Oh, definitely.
It's like standing in line waiting for your bread rations.
Or going to the RMV.
May I have some EXP? So that's the best thing that happened with The Division.
So it made people have to slog through a lot more. They were not happy about that, but Ubisoft is certainly working on those things. Actually, by now they may have most of them fixed.
They're working on that Watch Dogs 2 also.
Oh, yeah.
Coming before April 2017. Joy. Great. I'm sure it'll suck as much as the first one.
Oh, another one of the glitches I forgot about, which is fantastic.
Yes.
The way it was programmed, doors could only fit one person at a time.
Yeah.
So some people who were jerks just stood in doorways and no one could get past them.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. Great. It was fantastic to look at.
We didn't have a show last Friday, which means we did not talk about the Nintendo Direct that occurred on the 3rd of March. And now this Direct was like 45 minutes long, and it was focused on all of Nintendo's releases for the spring and summer this year. So there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
A bunch of it was stuff we already knew about. Some of it was stuff we already knew about, but they gave us some new information, new details, a few more clips, and a couple things were brand new announcements. Nothing too shocking, but things that had not been shown before.
Let me jump right to the dessert, Dan. What were these new announcements?
Well, the first one, as you can see, as the article I have pulled up right here, was a brand new Kirby game, which I know myself and many other people were excited about because it is not like Kirby and the Rainbow Curse or one of those stupid spin-off ones. It's just a Kirby game.
Oh.
Where you play as Kirby and you go around and you eat stuff.
Okay.
There was a 3DS one called Triple Deluxe that came out last year or the year before. It was really good, and it was like that. So this is more of that. But the twist is that Kirby's home planet is getting destroyed by evil robot invaders, and Kirby gets a mecha. And his mecha can get all of his powers just like him. So you get crazy mecha versions of all of Kirby's powers.
Good.
Users go through. It looks great. It looks really good. So that's very exciting. And it comes with a mini game where you can fight bosses with your friends playing as one of 4 different like D&D styled Kirby heroes. And you level up and all that stuff. It's what's the title of it? Does it say? I don't know. There's going to be new amiibos for it too. Kirby Clash. Team Kirby Clash. Which is just like a bonus mode in the game. The game's called Kirby Planet Robobot, and looks great. Oh, and if you tap amiibos into it, Kirby gets powers related to whatever amiibo you place. So if you place Mario, you get fire. If you place Kirby's Smash Brothers amiibo, it gives Kirby the Smash power, which gives him his Super Smash Brothers moveset in this game. That's actually super cool.
Yeah, that's really fun.
So there's some neat stuff going on here. The other big announcement, near and dear to my heart, Monster Hunter Cross is coming to the United States under the title Monster Hunter Generations. So that for anyone who's a Monster Hunter fan, keep an eye out for that. They said it's coming out in summer, which I'm assuming means August at this point, because July would surprise me.
Yeah, they probably couldn't do it that quick.
Announced. Yeah. This game actually came as not really a surprise to a lot of people, because much like Pokemon Sun and Moon, they filed the copyright for it the day before the Direct. So people saw a copyright for Monster Hunter Generations, and were like, oh, I guess we're getting Monster Hunter Cross. But they debuted it and showed a trailer and all that. They talked about that Metroid Prime Federation Force game, and if you recall, when that game was announced, there was a huge backlash against it.
Oh, there was.
Like, wow. So bad. And this part of the Direct was very clearly a response to that, because they had the lead, director on this game come on the Direct and literally explain to people why Metroid Prime Federation Force was a Metroid game and deserved to be part of the Metroid franchise. It was some hard damage control. And from what I understand, people didn't take it well. No. And the new trailer went up on YouTube and it still got slammed to oblivion and they disabled comments and everything. And I'm conflicted with this game because I feel like the reaction to it is really depressing because people are so hostile towards it. And this is speaking as somebody who doesn't like this game. I think this game looks fine. I think it looks functional. I think it's probably going to be really fun to play.
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in it, and I'm annoyed that it is the Metroid game we're getting.
Yes.
But the response to this has been savage. People are tearing this game apart and, like, calling for its cancellation.
People being me on the internet, that's never happened.
This is, like, for video games, though, I've never seen somebody, like, petitioning to have a game canceled.
Well, it's also, like, we don't usually see this directed at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, we will see this at other, like EA will see stuff like this.
Yeah, definitely.
But Nintendo, usually their fan base is much more...
subdued.
Yeah.
But I think Metroid fans feel super... slighted.
Oh, they do.
For years now.
And they really are.
They are. I mean, Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 were great. Those were a great series of games. There have been good handheld ones. But then there wasn't anything for a while. Then Other M came out and shat all over the character.
Uh-huh.
Nobody was happy with it. I mean, some people liked it, but they're wrong.
But they're wrong. They're stupid idiots.
The gameplay in it's, like, fine, but it's all the other stuff that irritates people. But we haven't gotten anything since then. And when the first big Metroid announcement is this weird spin-off game where you don't even play as Samus, people get annoyed. And I think the problem is that they're trying to do this sort of new IP, but they slapped the Metroid name on it. And in combination with all of that pent-up anger towards Nintendo for ignoring Metroid, it just created the perfect storm.
Yeah, because they slapped that IP on it because they're like, oh, this will sell more copies.
Yeah, and then they talk about how they worked things into the story of this game so that it does make sense in the Metroid universe, like, and it does. The stuff they came up with is fine. But yeah, people are super spiteful because this is the next Metroid game.
And this was one of those things that, like, oh my god, if they had just not slapped Metroid on it, or if they had actually been producing or working on a new Metroid game,
Galaxy Squad or something.
Yeah. If they had been working on a real Metroid game at the same time and said, oh, we're also working on this, like, as a weird tie-in thing.
Anything else. They could have announced Metroid Federation Force and been like, we're making this game. Also, look forward to more news about the currently in development mainline Metroid title.
Yeah, and then
showed nothing.
And no one would have gotten mad.
No.
It would have been fine. Well, I mean, some people got mad. It's the internet. But it would have been fine. It would have been fine.
They literally would need to show a logo and say, we're also making a mainline Metroid game.
And the Metroid Federation Force gives prequel story stuff to the next,
or something.
Yeah,
that's all they needed to do.
But they couldn't.
That's all they needed to do.
Nintendo, you goofed.
Goofed
real hard.
Time. And then I feel like this presentation at the Direct only added fuel to the fire.
Yeah, because
now everyone's like, oh, look at them go, look at them backpedaling and trying to convince us that this is what we want. Like, oh.
I mean, it is basically like they announce it and the internet says, we don't want this. And their response is,
But you do.
But you do. And I'm like, no, that's never a good idea. That's not a good idea.
It's not good.
Stop tearing your pants apart. This is a kid's show.
They're coming apart on their own. These are old news. I'm just so angry about Federation Force.
And everyone is.
Who
wouldn't be?
Star Fox. So
like we were just talking about how Federation Force should have been a tie-in to a real Metroid game. They're making a tie-in to the real Star Fox game.
It comes for free with the real Star Fox game. That's great.
It's great.
So Star Fox Zero is coming out this month. A lot of people are saying it might get delayed. Not this month, next month.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people are saying it might get delayed. This Direct confirmed that it is not.
Okay, good.
It's coming out on April 22nd. It still looks great. They confirmed it will have a cooperative play mode where one person controls the R-Wing and the other person shoots with the gamepad, which actually sounds really fun. And they announced a game, I think a few years ago, they talked about some game in development called Project Guard. And that game has been rebranded as Star Fox Guard, and it's basically a tower defense game. And it looks pretty fun. And it's coming packaged with Star Fox Zero.
Yeah.
And the best news about it is that this game stars Slippy Toad.
Oh, the best character.
Including Slippy's a previously unknown character in the Star Fox universe. I believe you can see him right there. That is Slippy Toad's uncle, Grippy Toad.
Oh no! Don't name your uncle Grippy. That's just wrong.
And as I'm sure you can imagine, reaction to that name was priceless.
He has a mustache.
Oh, of course he does.
Of course he does.
Old Uncle Grippy. Wearing that gold jewelry.
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch of
creepy middle-aged uncle.
got a mustache, glasses, a bunch of really gaudy jewelry.
And he looks like he might be touching Slippy's butt in this picture.
Slippy's reacting as if he is. But then again, Slippy always reacts like that to everything.
Oh, so. There you go. So yes, Star Fox Zero looks great.
So like it's tower defense. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's free.
It's
so
free
who cares?
Who cares?
This could be fun.
It has elements like Mario Maker where you can upload custom levels and stuff that other people can then play.
Right.
So it has like a level editor system in it as well. So that's neat. Good news there. They did not talk about Zelda on this Direct except for like the 3DS port of Hyrule Warriors.
Which isn't really talking about Zelda. It's not the Zelda news we wanted to hear about, which is about the new Zelda game that still has...
That port looks rough.
Oh, does it?
It looks pretty rough.
That's unfortunate.
Like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about it.
But we have this other Zelda news from the March 10th, which we wanted to talk about because, as you said, this is like the only Zelda news we've gotten about the new game in a while.
It's really annoying that we haven't gotten any news about Zelda.
They're being super secretive.
At this point, it's annoying. Just because way back in the past, they were like, look at you some gameplay. So it's almost done. You're going to get it so soon. And then they just shut up about it.
Yeah.
And have said nothing for the longest time. So I think someone at IGN talked to the guy who's...
Eiji Aonuma.
Yeah,
who's the director.
Yeah, talked to the director. And the director didn't tell him much, but he did say that they're trying to go with a new sort of style.
Yeah.
And they want to go with more of a Western RPG style.
He says about the Zelda game.
Oh, this is great.
The change in flavor will be like going from Japanese food to Western style food.
Which is really freaking different. I'm going to stop eating sushi. I'm going to have this hamburger.
So, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, because he doesn't give any details, so I'm like, wow, that's super vague and could mean like the game is drastically different. He does say that it's they're trying to change it up in the same way that they changed it up
with Ocarina of Time.
Going to 3D, but I'm like, but going from 2D to 3D is not...
There's only one solution. We need to go 4-dimensional.
Oh my god.
You'll play this Zelda game through time, which Ocarina already did.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He says that they used Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time as like the base of their secret sauce, quote unquote, for all the other Zelda games after it.
Okay.
And with this game, they want to make something new like Ocarina of Time was. So they're not using Ocarina of Time as a basis for this.
So they're changing up their core gameplay mechanics in a way.
Good?
Yeah, I mean...
I think the Zelda formula has been getting a bit stale.
That makes sense.
They need to bring some new stuff into it.
Yeah.
He said that things are progressing well with the game's development.
One of the things that's been speculated about this is that the reason why Zelda keeps being pushed back is because they want to try to make it a launch title for the NX.
Should make sense.
Which would totally make sense.
And it would be a super strong launch title to get sales right away, which they need, and they haven't had on their past few consoles.
Which tells us that the NX will be able to play games in 4 dimensions. Yes. You heard it here first.
Yep. 4-dimensional virtual reality experience.
Yep.
The NX. Over PS4 and Xbox. You got nothing.
Nothing.
They do say also, Aonuma said that they are at the end stages when they were on the end stages of development on Skyward Sword, he was in charge of in-game text and character dialogue, and that is currently what he's working on for the upcoming Wii U title.
Okay.
So they may really be pretty damn close to finished with this at this point.
That actually further makes me think that it's going to be a launch title for the NX, because otherwise they'd be talking about it more.
Yeah.
But that means that they might actually finish the game well before it's released, depending on how, if the NX is delayed or something, and it's just going to sit on a shelf.
For a while. Yeah, which might not be a bad idea.
It might not be a bad idea.
Because they already said for a release date, 2016.
And the NX
and we've heard nothing else. Holiday season it must be. And we have precedent for them doing this because Twilight Princess came out on the GameCube and the Wii.
Yes.
Because it was right on that straddle point when the new system came out. That's that.
Oh, there was something you mentioned earlier about... this relates to it. In the Nintendo Direct, I think about... Oh, now I can't remember. It was such a good segue, too. Something about getting things from Japan. I don't know. Oh, Monster Hunter Cross.
Yeah.
We're getting that here.
Which a ton of people imported already.
Which a ton of people imported. You know what? Now, in the future that is now, you're going to be able to import stuff from Japan even easier. Weeaboos rejoice.
Yeah.
So Amazon...
Amazon.co.jp.
Yeah.
That's Amazon.com in Japan.
They have opened up a international store.
For video games.
Yeah, specifically for video games.
I have ordered some stuff off Amazon JP before, but for some reason you could not order video games off of it internationally for a very long time. Until now. But I ordered some Blu-rays once. So. But this is new, and this is exciting. Because there are other third-party sellers. Like, there's websites like PlayAsia.com, AmiAmi sells video games. There's places to get them, but you're going to pay a fair bit. So I'm wondering how pricing's going to be on these.
Well, Amazon's whole thing is that they're, like, really cheap.
And if you have Amazon Prime, does that count for this?
Because one of the whole big things about getting stuff from Japan is the shipping. And Amazon Prime is like, hey, you don't want to pay for shipping?
You've got Amazon Prime, this could be a sweet deal.
Could be a real sweet deal.
You want to import them video games.
Oof. So one of the things I'm wondering about, maybe you know more about this than I do.
This also means you can get fancy Japanese 3DSs and stuff.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and system bundles.
But no, so I'm worried about region encoding.
Right. You're going to need to be careful about what is region coded and what isn't.
Yes, and one of the things it says here is you'll be able to buy Japanese video game hardware as well.
Yes.
So, like, you can get a Japanese console.
Because 3DSs, for example, are region locked. So, but you can get a Japanese 3DS and play Japanese 3DS games.
Yeah. So you just need to get another copy of your same system. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm sure Nintendo is all about this.
Yeah.
Because, just buy more copies of the same thing you already have.
I know Sony's consoles are not region locked, for the most part.
Okay.
The Vita is not, the PS4 is not, the PS3 wasn't. And it depends more for them on the game. Some games will be region locked and others aren't. Because I know for some reason, like Persona 4 Arena, the fighting game, was region locked on PS3 for seemingly no reason whatsoever. And people were very annoyed about that. But, oh well. It does say here importers should be mindful of which hardware platforms are region-free and will work with Japanese games. The Xbox One apparently is region-free as well, which kind of surprises me.
They want any excuse for the Japanese people to play their system.
They do.
They can come up with. But no, I think this is great. I think that, so all those games, like, when they get released first in Japan, if people are like, I can read Japanese, or I don't have a problem with dealing with the Japanese text, I will just get it early.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This person who wrote this article on Polygon said that their copy of Dark Souls 3 that they ordered came out to $61.87, including $6.65 in shipping fees, and it's expected to ship 3 or 4 days after the game's launch in Japan. This brings up something interesting. Dark Souls 3 is coming out like a month earlier than it is over here in Japan.
Ooh.
Like it's coming out like next week.
Yeah.
So I bet a lot of people are going to import Dark Souls 3. That is interesting.
They will.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably end up buying it again later because they want the English version.
Why not?
So wow, this is just... Why didn't... I'm surprised that the game makers did not push companies like Amazon to do this earlier.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to make a lot more money.
Totally. Well, a lot of Japanese hobby sites have been opening up to international markets more, too. It's just kind of becoming a thing where I guess either the market wasn't there before or that no one realized the market was there before.
Yeah.
Just because it hadn't been made available to people. I order a ton of crap from Japan.
Yeah, but you're a weeaboo guy.
Yeah. But it's neat to see it all opening up so much more, though. And I've always used the same couple of websites, but the more sources you have to check for things you might want, the better. Whether they're video games or anime figures. Or whatever, what's your poison? Let's talk about Phil Spencer.
Oh, he's so genteel.
So nice.
So this is an article from March 11th.
That's today.
It's today.
Yeah.
Entitled Phil Spencer says PC gamers might not buy
quote unquote
an Xbox One, but that's okay. So Spencer always trying to find the bright side.
Seriously. So there was an interview with Phil Spencer posed by Polygon at a recent Microsoft event. On the heels of his division's pivot towards bringing previously Xbox exclusive games like Quantum Break and Forza to the PC. So they asked him, let's say you're talking to an individual who is a PC gamer fully. They're exclusively a PC gamer. They love Steam. They have a sick rig. Sick rig, brah. Why do I, if I'm that person, why do I buy an Xbox One? What's the reason for me to purchase an Xbox One? A brief pause, and Mr. Spencer answered, you might not. And I'm not trying to trick you into buying an Xbox One for what I'm doing. I was actually asked by somebody, did you do Forza 6 Apex as a way of teasing PC gamers with how good Forza is, so they'll go buy an Xbox One? No, that is not the plan. So they might not buy an Xbox One, and I want that to be okay. He wants you to be okay.
Why hasn't Microsoft fired Phil Spencer yet?
I don't know.
Because, don't get me wrong, I love Phil Spencer.
I think
he's actually done a really good job with what he was handed.
Absolutely. But he's almost too candid and too nice for the role he's in, for this public speaking. That, like you said, why have they not fired him yet? I feel like most companies would not want a guy who is comfortable just saying this stuff.
Are you not going to buy our products? That's okay.
That's okay. And man, PS4 is doing real good. It's a really good piece of hardware.
I don't think we can beat it.
I don't know if we can beat it. You'd think that Microsoft would have outed this guy immediately after that stuff. But he's still around. And somebody must like him.
Somebody must. He's probably the son of some higher up in the company.
That's fine in this case, though, because he's an alright dude.
Yeah. He's a great guy, and he tells it like it is.
And he says, too, that he thinks there's still something very unique about playing console games on a television. 10 feet away, controller in hand, you and I sitting next to each other. Oh, me and Phil Spencer sitting next to each other.
On the love seat.
So romantic. Playing against each other or playing with each other. Ooh.
Okay, actually, this is funny. We're finishing the statement.
That is different from playing on my PC gaming rig sitting 2 feet away, playing with a keyboard and mouse, or even a controller.
Okay, so this is funny to me because the thing he's describing about playing couch co-op is something that no longer exists on consoles. Yeah. And I'm with him in the sense that, doing that is super fun.
It's great.
And I wish that the Xbox supported that.
Yeah, I wish any of these modern consoles supported that more.
But, that's already something that consoles don't do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I see where he's coming from. No, but it's not exactly an option now.
Now I'm curious as to whether, because he does always seem to just have nice ideas, is within the company if he's been pushing for more couch co-op stuff, and it's just that the publishers have not been willing to respond because they're we're going to sell less copies, so no.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to sell less copies, and it's more work for our people to make couch co-op modes. Nah, they don't care about the developers. It's just because they're going to sell less copies.
Especially EA. EA doesn't care about the developers.
No, they don't. Got a whole lot of other stuff here.
We have an EA-related story, don't we, about the Star War?
Star War? Oh, yeah, let's talk about the Star War.
Yeah.
Maybe even a couple Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront. For anyone who's been paying attention, they're getting a bunch of DLC packs. The first one is coming out soon. When the hell is this one coming out? It'll be available in March. That's right now. When the hell is this coming out in March? I can't friggin' find it. It's everything just says March 2016. So maybe this is coming out
sometime this month.
So the first pack is adding more Sullust maps and Jabba the Hutt's palace maps. As well as 2 heroes that I know everyone is really excited to play as. Greedo and Nienub.
As Greedo, you can shoot second.
As Nienub, you can sit next to Lando, who should actually be in the game, and go, ha 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 ha.
I know, I was going to say, I think, I can't pronounce his name. Nienub?
Nienub. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
He is a horrible racist stereotype. He was the first of the horrible racist stereotypes.
He's a pancake face man.
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be Hispanic.
I don't know.
But it's he was in there first, and when I saw that, I remember thinking, Lucas, wait a
This
minute.
is going on.
And then I was like, no, I'm just seeing things.
But then episode 1 happened.
then the prequels happened. I'm like, oh no, he loves making racist stereotype aliens. So Nub was the first of those. And by far the least offensive of
By
them.
far the least offensive. Absolutely.
But still, yeah, put Lando in there. Jeez.
Well, I think Lando's coming next, because the second pack in the summer is called Star Wars Battlefront Bespin.
Oh, we get some Class City up in there.
That better be.
Maybe it's just Lando's helper guy, the bald guy. Yeah. Justy's the only hero that unlocked.
That would be so good. Then in the fall we have Star Wars Battlefront Death Star.
That's no moon.
And you can play as the Death Star. I am curious how they're going to make the Walker Assault mode work on the Death Star maps. I mean, AT-AT's walking around inside the Death Star.
That would be weird.
That could be kind of cool, though. And then Battlefront Expansion Pack 4, title to be announced early 2017. So these are all rolling out, seemingly at the pace that they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
There's some free content, which adds more modes to, like, survival maps and other maps and stuff. There's new Hoth-themed outfits for Luke and Han Solo, which is like, sure, that's fine. Now you can be very cold Luke, instead of just, like, black jumpsuit Luke on Hoth.
I want them to have that outfit to have him be all frostbitten like he is in the movie, after he's been captured.
After he was in a car crash in real life, with all the wounds on his face and stuff. They're also adding Jabba the Hutt mode called Hutt Contracts, which is going to be a free update that adds, like, new weapon stuff. So they're adding some free stuff on top of the things you need to pay for, which is good. The main thing I actually want to talk about with this is the fact that Greedo and Yin-Nub are the first two heroes. Because I don't know about you, but when they say we're adding new Star Wars heroes, these two are nowhere on my radar.
Yeah, these are the guys that you're going to add, next year.
When you're down to nothing.
Yeah.
Because I know there's not a whole lot of options for heroes as far as the original trilogy goes. Because they already have the 6 that they have. You could add more bounty hunters, I guess. You can have Lando, obviously.
IG-88.
Chewie. Obviously.
Chewie's in there. Come on. Even if it was Greedo and Chewie, that would have made sense.
Yeah, Nindum's weird. Here's what I think. Because I have a theory about this that is really shady and slimy, so I'm positive EA did it.
Definitely.
The reason, 100% in my mind, that Greedo and Yin-Nub are these first two heroes is because they required EA to do absolutely no work. Because if you play as a rebel character in this game, you can buy outfits with your in-game points to make yourself an alien instead of a human, and you can play as a Rodian or a Celestin. What do Greedo and Yin-Nub look like? Rodian or a Celestin. They don't look different from the other ones, which means EA didn't have to do any work whatsoever to make these two characters. The models are already in the game.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I'm 100% positive that is the case. Which just sours me even more to this game. I've never had a game that I have so many problems with that I want to like as badly as this game. I want so badly to love Battlefront, but it's hard.
EA just makes it difficult.
They make it really hard. And this is just on top of everything else. We got some news about Hearthstone coming out. We got a bunch of news now that's just little snippets about various games. Hearthstone's new expansion has been announced. Whispers of the Old Gods.
Oh, I got some Lovecraft junk up in here.
I'm cool with that.
This is actually weird, because I don't remember WoW ever having Lovecraft references.
Oh, it's got a bunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. That's weird.
Yeah. The whole final dungeon of Wrath of the Lich King is an old Titan-like temple that's been taken over by a big, Lovecraftian tentacle monster elder god.
Oh.
And he's the final boss. He's called, Yogg-Saron, and he's got tentacles and mouths and stuff everywhere. He's super freaky.
Well, cool.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of that stuff in there.
Because it always felt like that stuff was too serious to be in something like WoW, because WoW just has a silly slant to it.
No, it's in there, though.
Well, Hearthstone definitely has a silly slant.
That's why I'm wondering what they're going to do with this in Hearthstone. Because this, by nature, is kind of serious.
Yeah.
But Hearthstone's so goofy.
It's so goofy.
That I'm wondering how they're going to make it work.
Like, what was the most recent adventure? The thing about, like...
Explorers League?
Yeah.
Yeah, with, like, Indiana Jones and John.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And even the tournament before that, like, the tournament set was really goofy. It's like the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, that was super goofy.
Yeah, so this seems...
And before that, it was gnomes versus goblins, which was really silly.
This seems oddly somber.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. Because I
kind of hope they take the concept and just make it super goofy. Like, we have slapstick Cthulhu. It could be cool.
I mean, the cards will probably be good.
Yes.
Because Hearthstone know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're doing all sorts of stuff with implementing, like, new modes of play and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Like, they're going to have new formats.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if that started yet. I don't think it has, but for those who are familiar with Magic the Gathering, Magic the Gathering has different formats like Modern and Vintage. And the way those formats work is that they have... like, Modern will, like, just be the most recent Magic sets, and those are the only cards that are legal to play with.
Right.
And then Vintage is, like, everything. So the way Hearthstone's gonna work like that now, where you'll have play modes where it's like, oh, you can only play with the most modern cards. So it's easier for people to jump in.
Right.
And there's probably some sort of seasonal prizes linked to that as well.
Right.
The only downside to that is that packs of the older sets will stop being available in the store. Now, I know that Hearthstone has a crafting system, so I assume that older cards will still be able to be crafted, but if not, then, like, you'll just never be able to get those cards again.
That'd be odd.
That would be really odd, which is why I'm pretty sure they're going to still be craftable.
Yeah, but you can't get them from packs.
Yeah.
That would make sense. So this set is coming out late April or early May.
That's pretty soon.
It's quite soon, yes. Street Fighter 5, Big March update. As well as first look at the first DLC character, Alex, just like you, but way buffer and way more meaty.
Nothing like me.
He's nothing like you at all. He's a powerful grappler that can inflict big damage with his power bombs.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I talk about his abilities. The game is also adding a challenge mode, which is like tutorials on combos and how to play as various characters. The in-game shop is being added finally, which lets you spend your in-game currency to purchase extra content, such as DLC character, story mode, costumes. Online rematch option, which was not in the game already, actually, apparently. And this was bare bones. So you can request a rematch with someone you just played with. And they're finally improving the battle lounges by making them up to 8 players, complete with match spectating, which is a big feature that I know a lot of people were annoyed was not present. And then there's bug fixes, balance changes as part of that, which do not have a confirmed release date yet. So yeah, they're working on it.
Well, good on you, Capcom, for being
for
good
actually
about fixing
following this
things.
up. Yeah. Because I mean, especially because they said this isn't a game per se, as a platform that we're going to keep adding to. As for what it is, which it seems like they're doing so far. So good start. No Man's Sky got a release date, which we weren't able to talk about last week.
Oh my gosh,
that's important.
Such a big deal. They finally released a release date.
June 21st, digitally and at retail. It's going to be available on PS4 and PC. There's a special edition for $80. And a super, Explorers edition for $150 at a website called I Am 8-Bit.
Oh.
That comes with, a model of the ship and stuff. So that's kind of cool. A little, pin and junk like that. So that's neat. The game, they also announced new features, such as multiple alien races that are going to be in the game. So, sentient alien species.
Which is good, because one of the things that whenever we'd see gameplay, there would, be lots of aliens running around. It'd be like, you discover them, but...
talk to.
Yeah.
And I always... with, really.
And it contributed to one of the things that we're worried about with this game, that we're still worried about, but I think maybe a little less... Yeah, it seems like it would get boring really fast, because I'm like, oh, every alien looks different, but they're all essentially just a herd animal that wanders around.
Yeah. And we were especially concerned because when we saw that the game ended up having a price tag of $60 as well. And $60 for a game with that's basically walk around space and look at stuff is pretty steep.
Yeah.
Even with being as expansive as it may be. But these alien races all apparently have their own languages, and you have to learn these languages. And the developers said that it'll take hours and hours to learn one of these languages and figure out how to decipher it. And they said there is one language that is more difficult than the others, and the idea was that they wanted to force people to come together to figure it out.
Oh.
So that's kind of interesting. And the interactions with these alien races will... races have different strengths. One might be more militaristic, others say science trading, that kind of thing. Which implies that there will be things worth trading for or developing.
They've talked about that before with like the weapon crafting and upgradable things.
We just don't know where it all goes, and we have very little detail on it.
Yeah, details are still super sparse on this game, which is actually especially weird now because now we know it's coming out like pretty soon.
Yeah.
So maybe in the coming weeks we'll see like a lot of content teases leading up to the game.
Kind of about
or maybe the game just doesn't have that much stuff in it.
Maybe.
We're gonna find out.
But we will find out.
So Dan, did you know that the best of the Diablo games just got a patch?
Did it?
And I'm not talking about Diablo 3.
Of course you're not.
Because
that's definitely not the best.
That's definitely the worst of the Diablo games.
So you're clearly talking about Diablo 1.
Well, that's second best.
That's up for argument.
Hey, if that got a patch, I'd be ecstatic.
That would be amazing, actually.
I really hope they do that. But no, Diablo 2 just got a patch.
Its first patch since 2011. It's been 5 years since this game got patched. I'm amazed it got patched up through 2011.
I know, that's actually really something.
The game came out in 2000. The game was 16 years old.
Oof. And it still plays like butter.
It does. It's great.
It's
a wonderful game.
But yeah, so this is this patch was mostly to make it so that you could run it on modern versions of OS X.
Yeah.
Was one of the big things. And PC as well, but the whole thing about when it came out was they're on Mac, because it came out for both originally. Blizzard has always been really good about that, now that I think of it.
Right.
Even in the 90s, their stuff was coming out on Mac and PC.
Apparently they're still working on ways to find cheaters and prevent hacking in Diablo 2 as well, they said. Still working on it. They got the one guy in the corner of the office who's on Diablo 2 duty.
Dude, did you know in Diablo 2 you can, if you're not playing online, because they have stuff to prevent this online, but you can mod it by literally just opening up the game's data files in Excel and editing values of stuff.
Amazing.
I've done it before. It'll be like, oh, Frostbolt does this amount of damage to this amount of damage. You can just change the numbers.
The game's so simplistically programmed.
It's amazing.
That's amazing, yeah.
So that's how people would often mod it. There are actually some really sweet mods out there where people would like change color settings and stuff and make new maps.
Oh, that's cool.
You just have to download like a special tool to be able to play them, and then you can't play them online. But it's
that's really neat.
Because
there were mods like that done for Diablo 1 as well. Because the game was so simple.
Yeah,
it was easy to pull apart the game files and make like custom levels and quests and things like that, and items. So yeah,
I gotta get back into playing those Diablo 2 mods.
And Diablos.
Oh, so
Can't get
good.
Enough.
Oh, actually, I should say someone commented on... We did the Facebook post about that story, and somebody commented on it. They were saying that they just tried to buy... one of the fans of the show was not able to download the OS X version yet. So theoretically, this patch is live, but he went and tried to download the OS X version so he could play it natively.
Oh, no.
And he could not find it. He could only find the Windows version available to purchase from the site, but not an OS X version. So that's a little weird, but, they'll get it. They'll do it. We'll get around to it. I have faith in Blizzard.
Yeah, they'll do it.
They should make it support 4K resolution now. Or you know what they should do? That they actually really need to do, and maybe they do in this patch. I didn't read anywhere if it said this, but Diablo 2 is in 4.3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
If they change that to 16.9, that would make a world of difference.
Yeah, seriously, an up-res of that would be amazing. Might be tricky, though, with the way the sprites were done.
Yeah,
and everything,
totally.
Without making the sprites look too muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Have to see about that. So I think a couple months ago we talked about a fan project called Shadow Moses, which was a rebuild of Metal Gear Solid in the Unreal 4 engine. It has been canceled, as we predicted it would be.
Yeah, we were spot on with that.
Spot on with that one. The developer announced on the game's Facebook page that they would cease production for reasons beyond their control. They did a big announcement. They said a big announcement coming March 14th after they showed off a video on their Facebook page. The game was revealed in October 2015, and a lot of it was released to people because they said, if we get shut down, we want people to have the stuff we've already done. But you and me talked about this before the show.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it when we originally talked about this.
Yeah, that if they wanted it to not get shut down, then they shouldn't have shown anything.
Yeah, what would have been smart, and at this point, a lot of people are trying to do these remakes. People trying to do it with Nintendo, people have been trying to do it with a couple different games, and I think it's partially because the new Unreal Engine is much easier to work with.
And it looks super pretty.
And it looks amazing. But people don't realize that these companies are very protective of their IPs, especially Konami
right now. Jesus.
So what you should do if you're going to make this, because it's not like you're going to be able to collect money for it anyway, is just not say anything.
Yeah.
Just remake the entire game and then
release
just release it.
Get it to as many people as you can.
And maybe don't even take credit for the release, just leak it on a torrent site or something.
Yeah.
Because again,
and spread it around.
You're not, if you're thinking you're going to get money to help you create this project, you're not gonna. That's super never going to happen.
No.
And if that was never your plan to begin with, which I don't think it was with Shadow Moses, you just should have not said anything and remade the whole game and then leaked it.
Yeah.
And then it would have been fine because everybody would have got Shadow Moses and would have loved you.
Yeah.
You would
have been a hero.
You would have been a folk hero of the digital age.
A folk hero of the digital age. All of the net bards would sing tales of your bravery.
That's true.
This is the truth. Speaking of fan-made projects, Morrowind is simultaneously getting 5 remakes. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. This particular one is for Skywind, which is a remastering of 2002's Morrowind in the engine of Skyrim, with Skyrim's graphical engine.
I think, have we talked about this before? I've definitely heard about this.
A little bit, I think we have. The developer, this is an article from March 5th, the developer just posted a new video showing off a bunch of stuff. It looks really nice. It looks like Morrowind with better graphics. It looks like
Morrowind with Skyrim graphics, which is interesting because at this point Skyrim graphics is not very new.
No, but it's still way better than Morrowind.
Oh, totally.
So Bethesda has told them this is fine,
which is shocking to me.
Cool,
but yeah, it is good.
Well, Lord knows Bethesda doesn't want anything to do with Morrowind anymore. They've said as much in interviews and things. They've said that game was a mistake.
What? That game was so good!
Yeah. No, but they don't think so. Interviews with them about Morrowind are that game was we slapdashed together as best we could, but none of us are really happy with the final product. It was kind of more screw-up than anything, and a bunch of the systems in it weren't at all what we wanted. And
See, this is...
But it's so good!
It's really good, and the weird thing about it is, when it comes to Skyrim... Oblivion and Morrowind, I still feel like Skyrim's probably the best out of those 3, but Morrowind is a close second because there's so much more stuff you could do in terms of the gameplay.
Morrowind suffers from its very dated graphics and gameplay.
Yeah.
But other than that, as far as just content goes, there's concept goes, it's amazing.
Great.
It's the best.
You can do arguably just as much, if not more, crafting stuff, but you can craft more than just items.
More.
You can you can create spells and stuff.
Spells, yeah,
it's amazing.
Which means you being able to completely break the game.
Totally.
Easily, but who cares? It's fun.
I mean, by the time Skyrim comes around and people make all these crazy mods for it, that's basically happening with Skyrim anyway.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah, who cares? But yeah, it's like you said, its biggest failings are its graphics and gameplay, but rebuilt in the Skyrim engine with those graphics and that gameplay, that's what I want.
That's all I want.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's great. So, I miss being able to eat mud.
So I
can't eat mud in Skyrim. I can eat all the mud I want in Morrowind.
all the mud you
drain my
want.
intelligence all day.
Then you could make special spells that that help you when you eat mud.
I made an alchemist character in Morrowind, and I made tons of money selling people potions that did nothing but make them stupid. I made potions of drain intelligence out of mud and rusty metal.
Oh, so do we know how close they are to completing this?
No.
This has been a project that's been going on for a while now.
Yes, but it's super ambitious.
It's nice that they are making progress.
Yes, I think so. This is just another check-in. They've completed 2 other remasters, Sky Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion updated with Skyrim's engine, and More Oblivion, Morrowind done in Oblivions. So now this is Morrowind done in Skyrim's. So they've done 2 of these already, which gives me more faith that they'll finish this at the very least. So that's cool. Skywind is a lot more complex, though.
So do we know if, like...
They've been working on it for 4 years so far.
Do we know if this has, like, the quests? Is it, like, just the continent that you can run around in, or can you actually replay the story?
I think they redid the game. Like, it's the game.
Oh, it's the full,
it's the whole
everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sick.
Once they put that out, I want to play it.
Yeah, I'm interested in this as well. And our last story of the night, about a little game. We gotta go a little quick because we're a long time here, but got a little game called Bear Simulator. I remember when this game went up on Kickstarter. It turned into a Steam early access thing. And you take on the role of a bear in a first-person adventure. But the developer has said, John Farjay of Farjay Studios, has said that making any updates or going further with this game is basically a lost cause now. And he says this due to the game's reception. In this article, Polygon says the backers and the majority of players on Steam have spoken positively about the humorous game. It's kind of in the vein of Goat Simulator, which is goofy. As you'd assume. But Farjay referred to its most vocal and negative reviewers as the cause of his frustration. Most notably, PewDiePie.
What's he up
Mr.
to?
PewDiePie played the game, and everybody knows he's a big deal. And PewDiePie tried it out and was not a fan, saying that this video is more of a PSA of don't buy this game during his 6-minute video.
Wow, and he's super positive about everything.
He is. He mentions the game's positive reception in his video, and he later made the video private on YouTube, but it remains watchable on his website. And the developer didn't call out PewDiePie in his Kickstarter post, but people are assuming that this is like PewDiePie's comments on it are a big issue on one of the big things that he's had a problem with.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, admittedly, PewDiePie saying don't buy this game is going to get through to a ton of people. That's going to hit a lot of people. Which is bad news if you're trying to develop a game.
But at the same time, like, it doesn't seem that it's a dishonest review.
But Goat Simulator got a huge good reception from, like, everyone. So in my mind, why should this be any different?
Maybe it does play significantly differently and significantly worse.
I've watched gameplay videos of it, and I think it looks like it plays more functionally than Goat Simulator does.
Yeah, because that's a pretty low bar.
Goat Simulator is a broken game. That's why people like it. So, PewDiePie himself did say, after hearing... He took down the video because of this guy's post on Kickstarter. So PewDiePie took it down as a response to this guy saying, like, I'm not developing this game anymore. Upon reflection, though, he changed his mind and said, after hearing he stopped developing games in total and gave up on this project, it kind of made me think I should keep the video up. Obviously, you don't stop making games because of one person's video, and me taking it down made it seem like that was the case to some people. He also spoke to the developer directly in the video's updated description. I've been faced with very harsh criticism in my days online, and I know it can be rough as hell, but you can also learn from it and grow from it. By abandoning this game, you're letting the people who support it and who are supporting you down, which isn't really fair to them. I think PewDiePie makes some valid points there.
He does make some valid points.
I also still think that that's underestimating the sheer amount of
sway that he holds.
Damage that his opinion can do to a game that's in development like this. Because I feel like I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, because if PewDiePie was like one obnoxious internet commenter who just like...
That's a different story.
That's a totally different story.
But he's not. He's PewDiePie.
He's the king of YouTube.
He has tens of millions of people hanging on his every word when he talks about your video game. if you're a developer, a tiny indie developer, making a goofy, fun little video game, and PewDiePie makes a video of it that says, take this video as a PSA to not buy this game, that's gonna hurt you.
It might have been better if PewDiePie had said, like, listen, this game... got some problems, but let's see if he can try and work through them.
But that's not how it came out.
Yeah,
and I mean, PewDiePie he makes comedy videos, so obviously he's
Yeah.
not going to be all like that.
No.
Like, I mean, if you've seen his videos, you know that's not really how he does them.
He just yells a lot.
He just yells a lot. But this is like an upsetting story. I'm sorry we decided to end the show with this. But
it brings up complex questions about the power of celebrity.
I don't think that John Farjay should abandon this project, but I kind of understand why he did.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
Why he's decided to,
Yeah.
at least for now. I don't blame him. And I think that anybody who defends PewDiePie in this is kind of wrong, because PewDiePie himself should realize how much sway he holds over things like this. And I think you're right. This brings up larger questions of, especially in this case, like YouTube celebrity, along with this culture of Let's Plays and indie game development.
Yeah, because
you'll see these people play all these indie games all the time.
Because we see all of these cases in which a little-known indie game, like Undertale, gets really great reviews and lots of great Let's Plays.
And tons of people playing it and plugging it. Yeah.
And it catapults it into being like a top-selling indie game.
And nominated for Game of the Year awards and stuff.
And then we have things like, what's his name? The guy who dresses like a Nazi.
John Sterling?
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about...
Don't get me wrong, I love John Sterling, but seriously, he dresses like a Nazi.
He knows what he's doing.
He's a really funny guy and a really smart guy.
Yes. But in him talking about what's that game, like the Killing Ground one?
Yeah, Killing Ground.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
Slaughtering Ground.
Maybe it was that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But he talked about how terrible it was, and then they had backlash because they're like, now our game's never going to sell because you talked bad about it on YouTube and you have a lot of power as a YouTube celebrity.
And they're probably not wrong.
And they're not wrong.
But in their case, maybe their game doesn't deserve to sell well.
Because it was horrible.
But I watched the Game Grumps play Bear Simulator. It looks fine. It looks like a goofy indie game like Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
So I don't think it doesn't deserve that kind of flack. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when it's being made by like this one guy. Leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I can't even with his like sort of apology, I can't get behind PewDiePie on this one. I think PewDiePie messed up.
It's definitely a conundrum.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which side I fall on with it, honestly.
I think PewDiePie messed up.
Alright.
But I want to see how this story shakes out, because I want to see if this guy decides to go back to this project in spite of all this, or if this actually just falls by the wayside and is destroyed. Because I think that'll make for an interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Seeing where this goes.
You should not have saved that story for last, because we just talked about that as quickly as we could, and it took a while.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty bad.
So, is anything coming out this week?
Nothing particularly amazing.
Need for Speed on Windows? Yeah, whatever.
I mean, last week we had The Division, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
And Black Desert Online, that MMO. But this week, WWE 2K16.
Oh.
Amazingly.
Yeah, there really isn't anything. So we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Next week when we're talking about stuff, there's going to be some stuff to talk about.
There's going to be some stuff.
But
most importantly, Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games.
The most important game you'll
they
play.
They talked about that on the Nintendo Direct.
It's an important game you'll play all year.
So yes, we have been... Don't copy that floppy, and we have been recording for almost 10 minutes too long.
Oh, no.
Thank you all for listening. You can catch us here every week, 7 to 8 p.m.-ish, on chipit.radio at chipit.net. Where else can they find us, Lex?
They can find us on Facebook. They can find us on YouTube. They can find us on iTunes. They can find us on Steam. And they can find us on Twitter. Twitter handle being at DCTF Podcast.
That is correct. So yes, until next week, where we will be bringing you more exciting video game news and hopefully an update about that Bear Simulator story.
Hopefully.
We have been Don't Copy That Floppy, and remember,
Don't copy that floppy.
That was a weird segue.
This is a little repetitive. This is a little repetitive. This is